devotion. This is an amazing subject that I'm dealing with it from time to time. We are now at the Via Dolorosa, the way that Jesus walked with his cross from the judgment place to the crucifixion place. But I actually stopped here at the 6th station where Saint Veronique claimed the sweat of Jesus. And for me, this is devotion. And I'm dedicating that tour to someone that I believe is like Saint Veronique, at least for the last year of his. It's maybe I can actually talk about the family, not only about Brian. I'm talking about Brian. I hope that I'm not destroying your name, Noonan, which is, he wrote me a little bit about himself, and I will be more than happy to hear about you as well. And when he talked to me, when he wrote me about himself, I went straight to Saint Veronique, because she is something else. In those 14 stations, no one actually helped Jesus. Saint Simon at the 5th station, which is straight ahead, he didn't actually help Jesus. He was forced to help Jesus. Maybe he didn't mind to help Jesus, but he didn't volunteer. And right here, Saint Veronique is standing, and she's looking at Jesus climbing up with his cross on. Saint Simon is already helping him. And then she knows that Jesus is suffering, but everyone else knows that he's suffering. Everyone else knows that he's going to be crucified soon. But she decided to do something, and this is the difference between every person that was in Jerusalem at that time, including Saint Simon, I must say, including most of his disciples as well. And she took the napkin, she took the veil, and cleaned his face. This is devotion. Then that tour will take you to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and we will talk about the devotion of Mary Magdalene as well, and John. For me, is the only disciples who've been there, according to the book. Then he is more devoted, as I see it, but not, maybe not more than other, but he did something. He knew that if he will be next to Jesus, they might blame him. Then in that case, this is where Saint Veronique actually did it. And I'm living that place, walking with the cross on, just like you, Brian. And I must say that I know that Brian went back to the church. He's a very devoted Catholic guy. I hope that the family is part of it as well. Monica and Kaylin. I know that he's praying with the rosary every day, and he's going to the church for the masses. Then, in that case, I'm so happy with it, and I decided to start a tour at the 6th station, because for me this is the story. We're climbing up on the Via Dolorosa. As you can see, they renovated the floor. If you've been with me, or if you've been at the Via Dolorosa, you know that so many people used to fall here. Jesus, for example, fell 3 times, and now it will be more difficult to fall in that beautiful street. This is the cross, a Latin cross that belongs to Brian. I will bless it everywhere in the church, and later on I will even go into the tomb and bless it there as well. Although I won't be able to do that with the camera, because it's not really allowed. Only let's say 1 in a million times. It's working. Okay. That's what happened when you're blocking the 7th station of the cross. And if you look to the right and to the left, it's quite crowded here. But it actually is quite an important issue. Then I will stand here because it's less crowded. Jesus left the city from their bride. In a way, this is the gate. And then he went to the Golgotha. The church that was built on top of the Golgotha was built outside the walls. Although today, 2,000 years later, it's inside the wall. It's almost in the center of the city. Here, at the 7th station, just like those micro girls actually fell, Jesus fell too. This is the second time that Jesus fell. 7th station. Then let me just bless the cross. Here. And let us continue through the market to the roof of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The church that we are going to see wasn't built before Jesus' time. It was built 300 years after Jesus' time. Then in that case, what I want us to see is the area before it. That's what I want us to feel. And it was built for the first time in the 4th century by Constantine and his mother, St. Helen. Just wanted to see something in the market because the tour is not only about the church, it's about the life here. That man, as I believe, is a Muslim man, and he just went to pray. That's how we close the shop. And no one will steal anything from his shop. Because it's, in a way, people accepting the idea of devotion. People lives, I mean, if he's a Muslim, he lives a shop a few times a day. You know, that Muslims are praying 5 times a day. And the mosque, which is not so far away from here. So it is. Oh, I can see tourists for the first time. This is the first day that I can tell you that I see tourists. The borders are open. You can visit us too, according to the end of January 2022. And the church, Brian, started from here. And when I say Brian, Kylie and Monica, you're part of it. Then we're climbing to the church of today, but the church was built in the 4th century and it was more than twice bigger than today. Now, I'm standing in the Christian quarter. Until now, I was visiting the Muslim quarter. Let's follow the cross. I call it the cat square. I think you know why. This is the church. Today the church is there. You can see the 2 domes of the church, but at the 4th century, that was part of it. Let's continue, please. The church belongs to everyone. Greek Orthodox, Catholic, of course, Armenians, Copts, and we are in the Coptic area. Ethiopians, then it's different than your church, I must say, or your churches. Until I will reach the 9th station of the church, if you want to have your own cross, and I do have some different crosses, enter to buy me a coffee link. You can find it at the description of that video. And if you won't find it, send me a message and I will send you the link. And here in front of you, it fell for the 3rd time. This is the 9th station of the cross. Some of you knows from my videos Yakob. Yakob, James, looks like Jesus in a way. He dressed like Jesus, he walked like Jesus. I'm not sure he's got Jerusalem syndrome, but he is not so far away from here. I love that man. Then so many of you already knows him. He actually appears in so many videos of mine. And I discover lately that he sleeps here. This is his mattress. And I discovered it when I came to here at a few days ago. It was snowing here. It was like a quite heavy storm. Here it's actually reached to 20 centimeters deep. I mean, it's a lot. And I discovered that he just woke up here. I know that he is not sleeping in a room because I begged him to stay in one of the hotels, and I wanted even to help him with my other tour guide friends. He didn't accept it. Even the cake that I gave him for Christmas, he gave it to someone else who needed it more. He is a hero in my eyes. Then that is Yakob. And the monk that just entered, the Ethiopian part, is a Coptic one. Then here, 7th and 9th station of the cross, that's where Jesus fell for the 3rd time. And I think those ladies are lost. But maybe not. Then, in that case, this is the Coptic Orthodox Patriarch. And I mean, maybe tomorrow I will try to go into their chapel. And we're entering into Ethiopia. What a beautiful picture, isn't it? You can see here Egypt. Ethiopia is in front of you. You can see the Protestant Lutheran Church, the tower. Everything is together here. Then we are at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre roof. Beautiful. If we are talking about the Catholic part of it, the Crusaders been here. Some say that it was a monastery of the German Crusaders. Some said it was the dining room of them. You can see the arches right there. And today it's owned by the Ethiopians. You can see the Ethiopian monk that blessed one of the disciples of his. You can see a beautiful place that they live, a nice village, that the Ethiopian village. No, I've been there. Thank you very much. And but we will continue to the facade of the church through two Ethiopian churches. Before that, I want to show you, remember the snow that I was talking about? This is a nice reminder of it. And we will go through those two Ethiopian churches. We're gonna, let's talk a little bit about them. The Ethiopians are one of the first Christians. The book of Acts, we know that one of them was converted to Christianity. But they believe that they are a creation of a meeting between Queen Sheba and King Solomon. 20 years later, the son that was born for them came back to his father just to say hi. And his father, King Solomon, gave him the Ark of Covenant. Then, according to them, at the city of Aksum, you can actually find it. And this will answer a lot of you who on the, or where is the Ark of Covenant. Then the villages, the churches looks like the Holy of the Holy of the temple. You can see that it's divided to two parts, the disciples, and then a place that only the high priest can actually go in. You will see another important thing is, and that is a painting of Queen Sheba visiting King Solomon. Then let's go in. Very short, low door, even for me. If you've been in Israel and you visit the church, I'm sure that most of you know that entrance. Then you can see the facade from 11th, 12th century. And let's go into the church to visit few of those places. In the church, which we already noted, it wasn't a church at the time of Jesus, you could visit the crucifixion place, which is right here on top of the hill, and and his tomb, and of course the resurrection. Then let's climb up, and we already know that it wasn't a church at the time of Jesus. We know that it was outside the city. The Bible mentioned it, and we know that that church been destroyed so many times. Then to see the Golgotha, you have to imagine a little bit, although you see part of the rock. This is the Catholic time, and they are getting ready for their tour, Catholic tour around the church. You can see the Franciscans monk here. You can see the lights, which means that it will happen soon. Here, they nailed Jesus into the cross. Brian, Monica, Kaylin, Sarah of the Noah Mother, and the devotion of Mary Magdalene that never left Jesus. She was with Jesus all the time. Here you can see that she anointed his body with his own hair. Others, Mary and John. John is to the left, the one without the beard, the disciple that been with him all the time. The only mosaic that left from the Crusade time is that Ascension of Jesus. Then Brian from Illinois, very close to Chicago. This is for you and for the people who are actually watching the house video as well. Mary, with a spear in her heart. Mary knew that Jesus will die in front of her eyes when she visited the temple at the presentation, around 40 days after Jesus' birth. From that moment, she tried to be with him all the way, and she never smiled. From here, you can see the Greek Orthodox part of the crucifixion, which is the only crucifixion site here, but owned by the Greek Orthodox now, although others got right here as well. You can see the Golgotha in front of you, covered with the glass on both sides. In the middle, there's kind of a table, and that is the exact crucifixion's point, and I will be there soon. John is to the right of Jesus. Mary, the mother, is to the left of him. Above Jesus, you can see a sin list. And can you understand the power of the cross now, Brian? The energy of it. Jesus from Nazareth, King of the Jews. Yeshua HaNotzri, Melech HaYehudim. See the Golgotha here. This is the only place to touch it. Yeah, here I'm touching it, and I'm blessing the cross with it as well. Look at the beautiful painting on the wall, on the ceiling, and the walls. describing the last hours of Jesus on earth. For the Catholic part, it actually starts from Adam and Eve. And you can see here Abraham and Isaac until the crucifixion and the resurrection. Let's leave the Calvary, the Golgotha. That is the Calvary, Golgotha, mentioned only in the Bible. There's no other source of that place.
This is what happened in the time of Jesus.
I know. And you can see that after he died, he was, they prepared his body for the burial, for the tomb. And another story of devotion is of Joseph of Arimathea. I just talked about devotion and suddenly you see the light. That went to Pontius Pilate and asked the body of Christ. Now he knew he was devoted to Jesus, but he did it in a secret way. Now everyone knows that he is a follower of Jesus, and that is not a good sign. And more than that, he decided to give Jesus his own tomb and to bury him just like every Jew must be buried the same day. And he gave him his own tomb in his property, in his garden. And he was buried here in the cave. Now the place...
You have seen something like this.
I know. Joseph of Arimathea. I know. Thank you very much. This is the place that they anointed the body of Jesus. That is the tomb. Now we saw that in mosaic it looks like a cave, and that is true. But that cave been destroyed so many times. It's been destroyed because people who didn't like Jesus. The Persians destroyed the churches here. The Muslims did it as well. The Romans did it at the beginning. Then, wait a minute. Then I cannot go into the tomb now. Brian, Monica, and Kaylin, Noonan, mainly because I'm not allowed to do that now. But you can see the tomb itself, although it's not, it wasn't like that. It more was like a cave. You can see here the two chapels. The first one with the candle is the chapel of the angels, who didn't let, to steal the body of Jesus. They kept it. Everything will be okay. And the dark part behind it is actually a body of a man that stands inside the tomb. And I will do that, of course, later on. But I want you to see, if it's okay by you, I want you to see a real tomb from his time. But we talked about devotion. Mary Magdalene is part of it. And here on Sunday, Mary Magdalene was standing right there, and Jesus was standing there, And she asked him, "Did you see my Lord?" She was the first person who came to Jesus, not the disciples. I know that it's from time to time people are angry at me, but the women power, Brian, was so important, and I feel the devotion of you. You came back, you actually in a way born again to Catholic, and I'm so happy for you, because I know that you're feeling better now. And what can I say? This is a win-win situation. And that is the chapel of it. You see the gardener and Mary Magdalene. Let me just touch it. It's difficult now to do that. And you can see the prayer of the Catholic prayer, which is beautiful to see it as well. I think you might hear the organ as well, but cross your fingers that we will be able to hear it. But until then, and let's see if they will do that, I want to go to another place, although I can see that he's a little bit busy. We talked about the tomb. We saw that the tomb was a cave. And here in this chapel that maintained badly because they have difficulties about who owns that place, you can see a tomb. And that's how Jesus was buried. Let me just use the flashlight. And you can see the tomb itself with niches. They used to bury the dead in those niches, but you know, it's very difficult to build caves like that. It costs a lot of money. Then what will happen if there are, let's say, 6 niches, and now I'm the 7th one, and I have no place here? Then they used to take the bones out of the first or the oldest body, and they will put it in a box by the name ossuary, and then they will bury me or the new dead in the place that they found. You know that even if you didn't study it, because you know that Joseph of Arimathea gave Jesus his own tomb that no one used before. And that one was used so many times. And that one wasn't. But that one was exactly like the other cave. The Aedicula that you see here is only from the 19th century, but it kept the idea of the tomb. All right, I want us to listen to the ceremony that you can find on here. And the one with the back to you, I mean, you see his back? This is Yakob. You saw the mattress of this.
Pater noster, qui
Sorry, the incense was too strong for me. Let's go outside now the church. And Brian, thank you very much for letting me actually tell the story of you and your cross to everyone that actually watching that video. Don't forget to subscribe my channel if it's okay by you. And then spread that love and send that video to everyone that you know. Thank you very much, and see you in my next video. If you want to watch or to talk with me, you can do it via YouTube, but you can do it via my email, my Facebook account and Instagram account, and you can find it at the description. If you want to support me, you can do it via buy me a coffee, and if you won't find the link there, just send me a message, and I will be more than happy to send you the link for it. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Monica, Brian, Kaylin. Bye bye. I'm so happy that I made that video for you.